Your Honor, the state's requesting a temporary order today. We need time to amend our pleadings. The Cosmoses do actually have one younger child, Gianni, who was not included in our pleadings. So we're asking for a temporary order that just covers the older three children, and either Mr. Cosmas was not here, so if he agrees to add the fourth child in with this and waive the defects in pleading and service, we could go forward on that. The state is pivoting because I didn't see that Mr. Cosmas had rejoined, but I believe the state's asking for a joint managing conservatorship order with mom being allowed to determine where the children live. If the youngest child is included, a modified possession order with no extended visits until the age of 3, standard possession order for the other children, 24-hour notice to be given when visitation is to be exercised, and parties to be ordered to communicate through app close. I believe the testimony will show that Mr. Cosmas is an E6 in the military and has had 11 years of service. We based guideline child support based on that in a BAH in Fort Hood. Guideline child support in this case would be $1,489. We would have Mr. Cosmas provide care and dental through the military for all 4 children if allowable, or if not, all 3 children until we can get that 4th child pled in. Ms. Cosmas is asking for retroactive support, but I have not spoken to Mr. Cosmas regarding that because, again, he was unavailable when I went to speak with him.
All right, well, since this is a temp, we can save that for final. That's not a problem. Okay. All right. Anything else then, Ms. Hubbard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glass.
Yes, Your Honor, I've confirmed that Mr. Cosmas is stationed at Fort Cav and he is not currently deployed.
All right. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get some general testimony here. And again, I'm looking at this being an attempt with the opportunity to the state to amend their pleadings to include the youngest child, and whether or not Mr. Cosmas is in agreement with that, or do we have to serve and with that paperwork and come back based on that. But this time I'm going to ask both parties, and Mr. Cosmas, that's you under iPhone and without an identifier as far as your name, sir?
Zachary Cosmas.
Okay, that is you. All right. I'll ask the state to go ahead and change this, update his iPhone information. And I'll ask that both of y'all raise your right hands, please, and let me get some testimony. Thank you. So at this time, do both of you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
All right, you're both officially on the oath, and I'm going to let the state call you both as witnesses. The Atlantic will have the opportunity to cross-examine. Again, he's appointed because of the father being a military member. So there's a chance that he will be dismissed after today's hearing because everybody's properly before the court this time, and we can proceed without the court-appointed counsel. And of course, either of you have the absolute right to secure your own legal counsel before we have a final hearing in this matter. But at this time, I'll go ahead and let Ms. Hubbard call you her first witness. Thank you.
Thank you. The state would like to call Danielle Cosmas. May I please state your name for the record?
Danielle Marie Cosmas.
And will you state the names and birthdays of the children that you have with Mr. Cosmas?
Olivia Chase Cosmas, 8/31/14. Aiden Alexander Cosmas, 4/18/16. Dylan Kai Cosmas, 2/23/18. And then there is Gianni, but I don't know if we're doing him.
If you'll just go ahead and state Gianni's birthday for the record.
Gianni James Cosmas, 6/13/23.
And ma'am, if we were to go forward today and ask you to waive the defects in the pleadings and service and go ahead and include Gianni in this order, would you be agreeable to that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear what I said to the court as far as what the state is asking for in this order?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like you and Mr. Cosmas can both make decisions regarding the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what has visitation been like so far?
Typically it's either every other weekend or every weekend within he'll have them for a day or two throughout the weekend. He tries for Friday unless if he is at work all the way until Sunday. He was tied up last weekend, so that was understandable because he had the children for multiple weekends in a row before then.
Okay, so they have a good relationship with him. They're used to seeing him. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are you asking, at least for the 3 older children, for there to be a standard possession order with the understanding that you and Mr. Cosmas could agree to different levels of visitation, but when you don't agree, that's what it would fall back to?
Yes, ma'am.
And as far as Gianni, if we're allowed to include Gianni in this order, what kind of visitation are you asking for as far as him?
I mean, he's pretty young right now. I know that he's capable of probably taking care of him as well. But as far as like right now, if he wants to see him, visit him, hang out with him, I have no problem with that. As long as I'm kind of with.
Hey, ma'am, what's he been doing since when he has the other kids? Has he had any time with the child alone, or what are we talking about?
With Gianni, sir?
Yes, ma'am. What's he been doing? You say he's been picking the other kids up, having them all weekend. Is the youngest child included in that, or that the youngest child staying home with you?
No, Your Honor, he typically stays with me. But when he comes and picks up the kids, or if I drop them off, he has some time with Gianni for a little bit before either one of us leave the home.
Okay. And again, ma'am, I didn't write down the date of birth. How old is Gianni?
His birthday was June 13th of 23. He will be 5 months this month.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was thinking he was a little older than that. Thank you, ma'am. All right, you may proceed, Ms. Hubbard.
Thank you. So usually there's kind of a step up visitation that occurs when the child is so young, and it doesn't have to be supervised. We could skip that step if you're okay with it, but it would just have shorter visits, working up to overnights, and then would not have the 42 days in the summer until Gianni was 3. So would that be something that you're interested in the court ordering today?
And just a second, ma'am. He can agree to anything y'all want, or y'all could just let it go. But again, if I need to put something specific in there, that's what the state would. That's what the court would be looking at. Thank you.
I mean, I feel like if he would like to have some time with Gianni, that's fair. But I would like him to get to know him a lot more, of his likes, dislikes, what he can and cannot have, and such things like that, before he does have any form of overnight or extended stays.
Does Gianni have any health conditions or any particular food allergies or anything?
He's just on a specific formula. He's had a procedure for tongue tie. That was really it. Other than that, he's a really healthy growing boy. I mean, with the interactions with Mr. Cosmas, he gets along with him just fine. But just as far as like overnight, I don't know if Mr. Cosmas is comfortable with it, then that's fine. But I don't know what he feels about that situation.
Okay. Now, did you and Mr. Cosmas live together at any time?
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, I'm sorry, I need to make sure the court knows, you've been married to Mr. Cosmas since January 3rd of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you filed for divorce, or have either of you filed for divorce yet?
Not filed, no.
Okay. When did you and Mr. Cosmas stop living together?
As I explained with you before, October 11th, he left the family home, came back January 1st, and stayed until March 1st, and then left again and has not been back of this year. Sorry, March of this year.
Since he left, have you been receiving any money directly for child support?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you receive?
It varies from month to month.
Do you have
An average of $380.98 to be exact.
Okay, average. So do you have a total of the money you've received for that time period?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
From the October of 2022, it would be $4,205.
And right now, the 3 older children are covered on TRICARE. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, and as dental as well through him.
Okay. And you did the paperwork for the dental, so you're aware of how much it costs him?
Yes, ma'am. He should know as well through his pay stub.
Okay.
It's I do believe roughly $31.
All right. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you'd like to tell the judge today?
I do not believe so.
I think there's one thing I forgot to ask you. You would like for the court to order you both to communicate using the app Close app, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that just so that it's easy to prepare those communications if either of you decides to file for divorce in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'll be back in just a moment. I'll let her get some testimony from the father. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Glass. You're moving around on me. I mean, literally and figuratively. Your Hollywood square moved on me also. So, any questions of the mother at this time, sir?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You may call your next witness then, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would like to call Zachary Cosmas. Sir, can you state your full name for the record?
Zachary Paul Cosmas.
And sir, the 4 children that you had that were previously listed, those were all your children that were born during the marriage?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in agreement to waive the defects and pleadings in service to include Gianni as a part of this order?
Yep.
And as far as the decision-making powers, do you feel like you and Ms. Cosmas can work together and both make decisions in the best interest of the children?
Yes.
For visitation, do you agree with the testimony that's been given to the court that you visit at least every other weekend?
Yes.
Okay. As far as the standard possession order, do you feel like that would be appropriate for the older 3 children?
Yeah, everything she said I agree on.
Okay. And sir, I think maybe I have your rank wrong. Are you an E7 now?
Yes.
When were you promoted?
In June.
Congratulations. As far as the money that's been testified, would you agree that the amount of money that you've given since you left the home is $4,205?
She would know better than me, so yeah.
Okay. And are you in agreement with keeping the children on your TRICARE and also providing dental?
Pending I'm in the military, yes.
Okay. Well, if you were to change your occupation, that may qualify this for a modification. Is there anything else? Actually, yes. Do you have any other children under the age of 18?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court that you and I have not gone over?
No.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glass. It's like you're in a cigar bar right now, Mr. Glass. All I can see is lights and smoke. So, oh. Are you there, Mr. Glass? Yeah, okay. You're muted, sir. So you have any questions? All right, well, I'll come back to Mr. Glass here in a moment. Mr. Cosmas, sir.
Yes.
All right, I'm looking at waiving the defects and pleadings and including the the fourth child and getting everything set up. And I want to ask Mom the same question in a moment. This is very, very complicated stuff. I talk real fast and I get it because I've been doing it for almost 40 years. But are you asking for this to be a temporary order to give you the opportunity to confer with counsel of your own choosing, or do you want to make this a final order today, sir?
It's whatever Danielle wants.
All right, then. All right, then. All right, Mr. Glass, Mr. Cosmos is your witness now. Thank you.
Sergeant Cosmas, you're sergeant first class.
Yes.
How long have you been a sergeant first class?
Since June of 23.
2023.
Correct.
And you are currently stationed at Fort Cavazos.
Correct.
You're not deployed.
No.
All right, thank you. Pass the witness.
All right, and Sergeant, how long have you been in the United States Army, sir?
12 years and 12 years, 1 month.
Okay, good enough then. All right, then. Miss Cosmos, you there, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
All right, ma'am. Again, the court has an option of doing this, trying to do this as a final today, or make this a temporary order. It's kind of a break-in thing because, again, the state will be able to do the math. We can do everything as set up today. Or are you your Ms. Cosmos is willing to go with what you want, temporary or final? So, ma'am, what do you want?
Final's fine.
All right, good enough. All right, then, Ms. Hubbard. So I'll let you tell the parties everything. I'll do the break-in visits, but obviously, folks, under the circumstances y'all and the way y'all been cooperating as far as the younger child is concerned, y'all could make this up as you go along. But I could do the standard package in there. Obviously, this he knows how to take care of kids. He's had 4, and this is not his first rodeo by any stretch of the imagination. So I can do some break-in visits as far as the younger child is concerned and make it official. But again, y'all, no matter what I do as far as the temporary as the final visitation order is, y'all can agree to anything going forward. But failing agreement, you fall back on the standard package as set up by the Texas legislature. So I'll let the state go ahead and tell y'all what all the math is and everything is concerned, and I will confirm that y'all both want to make this a final order. Because with the numbers involved here, they may we're probably looking at some retroactive child support, and I want to make sure that part's understood and what the amounts are and what that repayment amount may look like. So at this time, I'll ask the state for that closing to tell everybody what the state has figured out as far as the math going forward on everything is concerned, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm trying to do the calculations on the retro right quick.
Right. So the court is looking at naming both parties joint management service, giving the mom the right to decide domicile. Ma'am, are you planning on moving any place anytime soon?
No, I plan on staying in Texas.
All right, so I'll probably looking at doing a geographic restriction to Texas moving forward, ma'am. You can live anywhere you want in Texas, but you have to remain in Texas going forward, so long as dad lives in Texas. And I'm looking at ordering guideline support and ordering dad to maintain TRICARE health and dental for the kids. And obviously, if he wants to include any other packages, setting up the standard visitation order, and the state's going to give you the math on everything else. Obviously, TRICARE can go on a long time. Judge had TRICARE into his his last year of law school. So yeah, it can work that long. So anyway, I'm gonna let the state tell everybody what the math is, and then we'll finish it with everything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state has calculated that current child support would be $1,941.
$1,941, and obviously that's at 35% of net, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, proceed.
And then retroactive support giving credit for the $4,205 4 months at the higher rate as an E7, and the rest of the 9 months as E6. The
Okay, wait a second. They were back in the home together for 2 months of that time frame, weren't they?
Yes, Your Honor, they were. I'm sorry.
Yes,
So
that's
7
correct.
months. Okay, so
Okay, so let me see, times 1, 4, 9. Okay, so for 7 months instead, and then giving credit for the $4,205 paid, would be $13,698.
$13,698. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the interest on that will be about $65 a month. So the court would look at making a repayment of that at least 110. So okay, proceed.
Does Your Honor want the step downs as well?
No. Go ahead and for their information, tell them what the step downs are, but it's not anything happening soon enough. There'll probably be a new child support before that oldest one graduates from high school, but go ahead.
Okay, so the current support is $1,941. Once the oldest child graduates or turns 18, whichever happens later, it will go to $1,665, assuming the same pay rate at that time. Then it will go down to $1,387. And then if this order is still in place at the time that the last child is the only child that is still attending school or under the age of 18, it will be $1,109 in child support.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, folks. Again, that's a lot of math and that's a lot of info, but again, it's all based on Texas law as the percentages. Again, with 4 kids in and none, 35 down to 3, 30 down to 2, 25, and then finally 20% for the 1 child remaining. Obviously, I'm thinking that's going to change over the years, especially if First Sergeant makes more rank and more money. So that's the way it is. So at this time, I'm going to start with you, Ms. Cosmos. Any questions or anything else you specifically requested me to do here based on this? Again, standard child support, standard visitation, break-in visits at the 4 levels. Y'all can agree to something different. And since Dad has such a history of being around the kids, instead of making it 6, I would make it 6 at that first level because the child is such a young age. But going forward after that initial break-in, it would go down to 4, 4, 4. So, questions, ma'am? And are you still requesting me to make this a final order?
No questions, and yes, and just asking for the app close.
All right, well, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought that was an agreement, but yeah, I'll go ahead and order app close going forward. Just what you don't know always comes back to bite you. So let's limit where y'all can communicate about the kids, and I'm going to limit that through app close, ma'am. Thank you.
Sorry, my phone died.
Okay, sorry, sir. Did you hear the amounts of the retro and the repayment amounts and all that, sir?
No.
Okay.
No.
Tell the First Sergeant what his what the retro amount would be based on 4 months as an E7 and 7 months that they were together, not together during that October through today's time frame. At an E6 and what the court order is repayment on that amount. Then thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cosmas, the retroactive support amount would be $13,698 to be repaid at $110 each month starting on December 1st. And that was based on what the judge said as far as retroactive support and when you were in the home.
And sir, that's based on the amount of the amount of the retro. Texas has judgment interest, so the interest alone is about $65 a month. So that's 65 plus 55 there to kind of reduce that principal down. So, and of course, the regular child support amount based on you being in E7 with 12 years, sir. So Any other questions, sir? Anything you need to know in addition? Of course, you could. I'm going to leave Mr. Glass as your CSRO attorney until this becomes final 30 days after I signed it. So you can always ask him questions about anything within the next 30 days, sir. But at this time, do you have any questions? And the mom is still requesting this to become a final order. Or are you wanting this to be a final order, sir? Thank you.
What happens when I move next year because of my job?
All right, where are you going to be moved? Where are you going to be stationed at, sir?
At this time, I don't know, but I know I'll be moving around June timeframe.
Out of country, sir, or in country?
Wherever the Army sends me. I don't know until I get orders, but I know I'll be getting orders around June. That's when my YMAV is done for Fort Cavazos.
All right, well, here's the deal, sir. Under our standard possession order, I can only do a snapshot in time for right now. So for right now, you're both joint managed conservators. Your pickup and drop off is at mom's residence going forward. If you move and she doesn't, then your pickup and drop off for the kids are still at her residence. I have restricted her residence to the state of Texas so long as you're in Texas. But if you leave Texas, then obviously she has the opportunity to move somewhere else if she wants to. But so long as she remains in Texas, and you move somewhere else due to military service, you still have to pick up and drop off the kids at her residence, and you're moved to the over 100-mile visitation at that time. It's a different package. But if she moves after that, then you pick up at her residence at the beginning, she picks up at your residence at the end. So again, it's all in the order. It's kind of complicated, but you can ask your CSRO attorney about that. The next question, sir.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, then. And you wanting this to be a final order, is that correct, sir?
Whatever Danielle wants.
That's what she said she wanted, so that's what the court would make it. And it becomes final in 30 days. And that's, like I said, you have that opportunity to ask the ad litem, your CSRO attorney, any questions over the next 30 days about this order to clarify any information. I waive court costs due to military service, obviously, sir. And the state will prepare the order circulated to both you and the mother and the CSRO attorney to review and sign off on. And the CSRO attorney will not sign off on it until you confirm that he's okay to sign off on it. Understood, sir?
Yes.
All right, then. All right, anything else, Miss Cosmos?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, anything else, Mr. Glass?
No, sir. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you everybody very much, and good luck to everyone. May the parties be excused, Ms. Hubbard.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're off the record, folks, and thank you both. Thank everybody very much. I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday time frame. We're off the record. Thank you.